happens sometimes. Welcome to Lab Safety, where I will be teaching you about lab safety. First things first, we need to remove all eyewear. You cannot be wearing that during the experiment because it's an obstruction of vision. See that on the floor? Don't touch it. You could get hurt. Broken glass, dangerous. Leave it for someone else to find. Just leave it. You don't want anything to cut your skin, so you need to be making sure you're wearing long sleeves, long clothes. Make sure your hair is down. Extra protection. Now, we don't want to interrupt the experience, but you can take a drink every once in a while. You can also keep some food close by in case you get hungry. Make sure it's close by so you don't have to run off and get it, disturbing the experiment. Now, first things first, we need to turn the heat on the stove. Oh, be careful, it's hot. Before we start doing anything with heat, we need to make sure we are fully protected by tucking our clothes into our pants or shorts. This will keep the clothes from draping everywhere. We do not use aprons because it's extra fabric, not good enough. It's a fire hazard. Speaking of fire hazards, make sure you keep water close by just in case there are fires around. We do not use fire extinguishers. They are scary and dangerous. Now, hey, get out of my video. I'm teaching lab safety to my viewers.
You're horrible anyway.
Ow! 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 Hello, my name is Maria, and today I will be teaching you about lab safety. This is my laboratory, and I will be best instructing you on how to perform a safe and careful experiment. First, we need to start off with eye protection. You need a form of glasses. This keeps toxic chemicals from entering your eyes during the experiment. Now, the second thing we'll need to talk about is glass. Whenever there is an accident in the lab, like glass shattering, I'm not going to perform it right now because that would be dangerous. But if ever glass shatters, you need to immediately call assistance from your teacher. Carefully clean it up with gloves, like so, and dispose of it properly. Now, usually when you're using glass, you probably will be heating that glass and the fluid inside the glass up. When we are dealing with heat, be very, very careful. You need to make sure there is no objects anywhere near the heater that you will be using. Turn it on a lower setting, not the very highest. Be careful, it's hot. Now, when we're dealing with heat and glass, knives, and other dangerous lab material, we need to make sure that we are wearing protective lab clothing, such as this apron. It protects my clothing underneath, making sure that I do not get injured. For example, this glass were to spill, I will be protected. We need to make sure we are not wearing long, drapey sleeves so that it will brush against the hot stove or get into any of the chemicals and the beakers and the glasses. Now we need to make sure our hair, any hair, is tied up. We don't need it draping across the burners, across the chemicals. Next, I want to talk about spill cleanup. If this green liquid was to spill, the first thing we need to do is get paper towels. Make sure our hands are protected with gloves and mop up said spill. We would next need to alert the teacher that there has been a spill in the laboratory and it needs to be dealt with immediately. Now, we do not need to get close to the spill, we do not touch the spill, we do not inhale any chemicals from the spill. Once you've gotten that clean up, then we need to talk about fire safety. Always, always, always keep a fire extinguisher within your lab. Now, this may not look like all fire extinguishers, but it does the job well of keeping control of fires. We need to make sure that it's close at hand, such as here, to keep control of those fires. We need to make sure that none of the chemicals are coming in contact with the heat. Our hair, our clothes are not touching that burner. We need to make sure that nothing like this plastic will melt the burner. Got it? Alright.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, hey Paul. I am just conducting a lab safety video for my viewers.
Ooh, and Kool-Aid.
Hey, no. You do not need to drink Kool-Aid. Put that down, Paul. Paul, this is all very, very chemically dangerous things. Not a good place for a child of your stature and size. Paul, that's hot! This is too much horseplay. This is a prime example of something that does not need to happen in the lab. Horseplay. It's very dangerous. It can cause many spills and accidents. Now, I handled this very carefully. I did not scream at him or yell at him. I might have raised my voice a little bit, but that was to get his attention, to make sure he did not cause any ruckus within the lab. Now, he touched things, but he did not cause a huge explosion like he could have. Paul, I need you to leave the lab while I am conducting this experiment, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Horseplay. It is never a good idea in your lab. Next, I want to talk about eating and drinking in the lab. Now, we do not need food in the lab. This banana does not need to be anywhere near this lab. You need to put it out of sight, out of mind, such as over there on that counter. Any water, do not be drinking water, do not be looking at water during the lab. You do not need to have water anywhere near your chemicals because they could become mixed and you could drink chemicals instead of your water. Very dangerous. I'm going to put this on the counter over here. Make sure you are all filled up. Make sure you're not thirsty or hungry before starting an experiment. It will just cause problems. Now, next I want to talk about sharp objects. Knives can be very dangerous in the lab, so can scissors. They can also be very helpful if you're cutting a specimen open or doing a dissection, but there are some safety rules to go along with it. This does not need to come anywhere close to your eye. You are wearing protective material over your eyes, yes, but this can be dangerous if not utilized properly. Make sure that no one is pretending to poke each other with the knives or the scissors. That is dangerous. It could cause so many problems and create such disturbances in the lab that you will not be able to get your experiments done. Knives can hurt people. We need to make sure we are taking very proper care not to touch the blade, only touch it to what you are trying to dissect, cut, or take apart. Same with scissors. Do not wave them around the classroom. Do not throw them. No throwing scissors. Make sure they are all within safe reach, but make sure that they are accessible and not in any harm's way. Now, I shall at last be talking about the safety of your chemicals. Now, this is a very toxic substance. We do not need it anywhere near our mouths, near our noses, or our skin. We are wearing protective gloves, but this chemical may be able to seep through your gloves, so beware of that. And do not get it confused with Kool-Aid like my brother just did. That could be a very dangerous and hideous mistake to make within the lab. This is another dangerous substance. We need to be very careful as how we handle any of these substances, like pouring it into another. It would be very dangerous to happen. Alright, now we need to talk about waste. How you get rid of these toxic chemicals. There should be properly labeled containers throughout your classroom as to where you will dispose of them. Sometimes your teacher may let you put them down to disposal, but some chemicals cannot be put down there. They might erode the pipes. Make sure you are not tossing the chemical to anyone when you are getting rid of them. Make sure they are always in a proper container. Dispose of your chemicals safely and sufficiently within your lab. You need to do a proper cleanup of paper towels. You can even use sanitary material to wipe off any spillage. And to clean your lab. Always make sure your lab is clean when you are finished with it. Make sure you put back everything in its right place. Make sure you clean all materials, such as a knife or scissors or your beakers. Make sure they are all clean when you put them away. Well, there you have it. I just gave you safe and effective ways to demonstrate lab safety within an experiment. Make sure you remember all of these when you are conducting your experiments, and you should not have any problems. Thank you and goodbye.